Good evening. Well, hey. So, gosh, a lot going on in the world right now. So, what I wanted to do this evening was talk about change because we're going through a lot of uncertainty and change right now in business. And what I wanted to do was talk about change because this is really important to understand what happens when something changes and how that can affect your business, your customers, your sales, the whole thing. So buckle up because this is Tough Talking Thursdays, and yeah, I'm just going to shoot from the hip on this of exactly what happens when things change. So, I've spoken about this before, but there are different types of change. There's change in a business that you are in control of. That's like innovation and inventiveness of business. And when that happens, things naturally change. But you're more in control of that situation when you change things yourself. But the change which is probably the most uncomfortable and the most fierce in terms of disruption is going to be the suck events, as I call them. The sudden unexpected change events, suck for short. And when those come in there, they're like curveball events. And right now we're in a suck situation. We really are in business in terms of looking at how it has kind of thrown this curveball in for so many businesses, and we're all having to look at our businesses and work really fast in terms of turning things around, being very inventive, being very creative. And I think they are really, really great skills to have in business, and certainly over 25 years they're the skills which have kept me in business as an entrepreneur. Does that make sense? So it's not that I've had one business for 25 years. That's not my bag. I like kind of changing, and I suppose I'm a reinvention queen, really. I mean, I've had like 18 different businesses over 25 years, sometimes multiple businesses all at the same time. And so one thing that I've learned, and the muscle that I've built over time, is the ability to change and adapt very, very fast to curveball situations that came in. And many of those curveballs were not actually business driven, if that makes sense. They were a lot of curveballs, suck events that came in my personal life, which meant that I had to change business or change direction or do things differently. From being like a single mum for 8 years, where I had to put a roof over my head for myself and my 2 children, but I didn't want to compromise on bringing my children up. So from that point of view, it was finding a business and creating a business that I could work from home so I could be with my children more. So it's all about looking at current circumstances and adapting a business very much to what's going on at the time in your own life. So let's talk about what happens when one of these suck events comes in. So typically what happens is it throws this curveball in, and you'll be stunned momentarily. It's like, it's only human. It's almost like that shock thing of like, whoa, okay. Once the dust has settled a little bit, you have a choice to make. And the choice tends to be, you can run around like a headless chicken. So I'm like, you can go into kind of like the blame shame game of like, it's not me, it's them, whatever. You can bury head in the sand and try and ignore everything, which, by the way, is not a great thing to do. Or you can then get resourceful. And oftentimes, these disruptive events can actually force you in a good way to take stock of what's really going on and how you need to change and develop to move forwards. And they can be very, very positive. I mean, many of my businesses that were caused, the suck events that happened to me, those businesses that came out of the back of those events, I've got to say, many of them were born out of desperation. I literally had to, there were situations where I found myself having to create businesses because these curveballs had come in and completely thrown everything up in the air. So suck events should not be feared. They are things that will actually enable you to grow really, really fast as a business owner, as a person actually, because business is never in isolation. In fact, entrepreneurship has got nothing to do with business. It's got everything to do with personal growth. And so we are in a suck event situation right now. And so you have a choice. You have a choice of what you want to do with your business, taking it forwards. You can as I said, you can run around like a headless chicken, kind of like, ah! You can sort of bury your head in the sand like an ostrich and go, oh, it's all going to be fine and whatever, la 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 la. Or you can actually have the choice of saying, right, okay, where's the opportunity in this? And now, for some of you, you're probably, you may actually listen to that and go, I'm not there yet. I'm kind of like in the stage of kind of that, the world is falling in. And, I want you to give yourself permission to actually be there for the moment and really kind of accept really how you're feeling, and don't ignore that. But at the same time, don't stay there. Don't stay in that emotional home, because that's very, very damaging and you will not move out of it. So we've got a question here from Lisa. Okay, so it's not a she's saying it's not a question actually. Lisa's saying, love how you got your kick-ass jacket on to tackle this. Yeah, absolutely, this is my kick-ass jacket. Because actually, Lisa, this is the thing, is that I'm a business owner. I've been a business owner for 25 years. Don't you think that this lot is all affecting me? Of course it is. I am not invincible. Oh, that's my email. And let me just turn off my email thing, because that's going to just annoy me. You see, I'm a normal blooming woman doing perhaps extraordinary stuff. But, the thing is, yeah, absolutely. You're all saying, like, this is kick-ass time. It absolutely is, folks. So this is the time where you and me, we have to step up in our own ways. Now, for me, it's donning my leather jacket and it's going, come on, let's do this. Let's kick some ass. Let's kick some butt here. Because you can allow yourself momentarily to have a meltdown. You are allowed to do that, okay? At the weekend, I got sucked into watching the media. My mindset kind of went into the toilet, and I kind of sat there and I was like, oh my God, the world is falling in. La, la, la. And I allowed myself a day. I allowed myself a day to feel really down and like, oh, whatever. But here's the thing. I know that because I've been doing mindset work for so many years now, in fact, actually 30 odd years, I have been looking at the psychology of performance, and I understand the principles here, which is you can move out of these type of things when you have the strategies to do so. And so mindset at the moment is critical. And the reason why I've been able to bounce back and stick my leather jacket on and go, come on, let's do this. Let me help others. From, and taking it from me to pushing it out there in terms of love and service, I've been able to do that very, very fast because of the mindset work that not only I have done, but also, the mindset that I teach others in the client groups that we run. And yeah, I mean, these are very, very powerful principles. These are the principles that are used by the top millionaires on this planet. In fact, billionaires are using these mindset principles that I am teaching to the clients. And as I said, we're all human. It's not as if I kind of bounce out of bed in the morning like a blooming bunny and kind of like, woohoo, everything is fine, pixies and rainbows. And yeah, it ain't happening like that, folks. Sometimes I haul my ass out of bed and I'm like, oh God, put the kettle on. Okay. But then I know the triggers that I need to do on a regular routine basis, as if it's like brushing my teeth. I do these things. And as I said, sometimes when we have these curveball events come in, you can get sort of sideswiped a little bit, like I did at the weekend. I got sideswiped a little bit. I got sucked into looking at too many articles about what was going on about the virus and how it's affecting business and la 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 la. And, from my point of view, my mindset slipped, even though I was doing it. So this is why it's so important at the moment. And I'm really drumming this home to as many people as I can. It's like, please do a kind of a media limiter at the moment. If you've got somebody in your family that you can actually call and just say, look, you just go and you watch the media if you want to, but give me a 5-minute update at the end of the day, or not at the end of the day. You don't want this just before bedtime, but kind of like 6 o'clock time, please just give me a 5-minute run through exactly what's going on, because that way, you see, you're not going to be sucked into it. You're going to be an observer. And now this is the important kind of thing that I'd love to say here, is that now more than ever, right at this moment, it's about being an observer, because when you can actually take yourself out of your business and then observe it from above, or observe a situation from above, you actually step out of that fight and flight bit of your brain, which is the back bit, which is the reptilian survival mode, and you kind of bring it forwards into this frontal cortex, which means that you'll be able to make more discerning decisions. You'll be able to actually look at things and actually go, okay, like a bit like a chess game, and you can move pieces around. You can go, okay, so if I do this in my business, move that, and that's going to have a consequence on what happens. So let's just have a look at some of these comments here. Kath said, yeah, step up together too. Yeah, we're all in this together. Together equals stronger. Absolutely, Kath. This is a time now where business owners, we all need to kind of step up together to hold space for each other, to actually give advice and guidance, and really step into our own powers and our own strengths in terms of service. Zoe said, this is my first crisis. I'm struggling a little bit with it, but with your help, I'm able to work on my mindset towards it and use the time I have to plan different strategies to help my customers who are also panicking as their income is in jeopardy from having to close their clubs. Fingers crossed, it's well received. Absolutely, Zoe. Zoe is one of our clients, and absolutely, Zoe's sort of mentioning here the mindset stuff that we're doing at the moment, and all our clients now, we have a massive focus in our client groups now in terms of mindset. It is the number one thing we bring in, because you see, if you are still in this back part of your brain, there is no way you are going to be able to plan and do strategies and look at your business with kind of new eyes and just go, okay, yeah, brilliant. If I make that choice, then this is going to happen. It's going to, play out this way. If you are stuck in this part of your brain, the reptilian part, that fight and flight, or freeze, because they're the three things. Most people just talk about fight and flight, but actually there's a third one, which is freeze, which is what I call the bunny in the headlamps. Okay, so you've got the three things. You either fight, you either, and the fighting in this context of the reptilian brain is not good. That fight is really an angry kind of emotional thing, and you can't actually do the logical bit of the frontal cortex with that kind of energy. So the fight bit, the flight is obviously running away from the situation, and the freeze bit is bunny in the headlamps. Oh my god, I don't know what to do right now, so I'm not going to do anything. Okay, so out of a crisis, out of a suck situation, what happens is that we are we're allowed, we are able to look at a situation and, okay, I'm going to be truthful with you. Sometimes when a curveball comes in, you are knocked for six. As I said, 25 years of curveballs coming at me right, left and center in business and in life. And one of the things I know for sure is that sometimes they will knock you completely off your feet and you will be in a heap on the floor, kind of like in desperation. But trust me on this, that if you allow yourself to feel those emotions, but don't stay there, you will actually rise through them, and then it clears, and then something incredible happens. And, I'm going to tell you a story now that I got to the stage when I was a single mum, and I'm not going to go into the entire story, but basically I found myself in a situation where I was about to lose everything I'd worked for. My house was just about to be put on the market, and I sat there on the morning that the estate agent was going to come round and list my house, and I sat there in tears, and I sat there at my desk. I can remember it vividly as if it was yesterday. I sat there in tears of desperation, and I was like, how could it come to this? I have worked so damn hard for this. I am just about to lose everything. And I went into complete desperation meltdown, which is almost like a suffering stage one of a change and transformation process, in complete suffering. But then something very strange happened. And after the tears, after the kind of the heartfelt sobbing, I actually drew breath, and I was like, right, okay. And there was a part of me that actually just started to move forwards into this kind of, maybe not even into the front part, but there was a part of me that started to question about, and I'll be truthful, what happened was that my dad was made redundant a lot of times when I was a little girl. And maybe that's why I went into entrepreneurship, because I didn't want to fall prey to somebody else taking my livelihood away from me. I wanted to be the master, the mistress of my destiny. And so But when I sat there in that moment of desperation, I there was a voice that came to me, which is, what would your dad do? What would your dad have done? And, you know, my dad is a very, very entrepreneurial guy. That's kind of where I get it from. And so he's a very creative man. Okay, because that's what really entrepreneurship is all about. It's about creativity. It's about finding a way. In fact, many of the engineers on this planet are highly creative people. And so anyway, you know, the question came in is, what would your dad have done? And so I sat there and I was like, right, okay, what did my dad do when he was made redundant? And what my dad had done when I was a little girl, he'd been made redundant. He was too proud to go and collect the dole, as it was called. He didn't go on benefits or whatever. And to provide for his family, he got very, very creative. And he was like, right. And he went out and he got himself a white transit van. He had some little leaflets printed with fruit and veg thing. And as a little girl, he kind of took me and my brother around the different estates, the housing estates, and we were posting these little leaflets through people's letterboxes, because he started a fruit and veg round out of a van. He went down to the markets. You know, he set up a proper business. But it was like, how inventive and creative was this? We're going back, God, 40 years ago now, more than that, probably, yeah, 42, 43 years ago now. And so, or more. So from that point of view, I sat there in that moment and it was like, well, my dad went and got a white trans van. He did a fruit and veg round. And I was like, that's what I'll do. You know, I was desperate. I was like, how do I make money? And so I was like, right, that's it. I'm going to get myself a white van and I'm going to go up, you know, the local area, and I'm going to set up a fruit and veg round. Good enough for my dad, good enough for me. And then I sat there a moment and I was like, but I, you know, nothing against my dad, but I've probably got a few more kind of skills and marketing skills and whatever. There's got to be maybe a different way. And I sat there, and that was the beginning of a process that led me to create a fruit bouquet business. And that fruit bouquet business is worth billions on the planet. The edible arrangements fruit bouquet businesses. And I actually formed an independent version of that and became, off the back of that situation, became the worldwide teacher, trainer for independent businesses, setting up those businesses from home. It wasn't an easy process. It was several years of doing this. It led me to work with Peter Jones from Dragon's Den, blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm not dropping, you know, that's just like a name drop thing. But the point is, what I want to get across is that if it hadn't been for that moment of sheer desperation and change, a suck event that had come in, I found myself in a really kind of desperate situation. If it hadn't been for that moment, I wouldn't have gone on to grow and to innovate and to create incredible businesses. And more than that, I got to travel the world teaching other business owners to set up businesses in that way from home and sort of have an income for themselves. So what I think, and what I'm trying to say here, is that suck events that come in, I don't want you to see, you know, the current situation right now as all doom and gloom, because for some of you, you're sitting there right now going, holy crap, you know, I don't know what to do with my business. It's been this way. I've been doing that. I have no customers, or kind of like, or some of you maybe sat there going, oh, wow, okay. I know that there was one of our graduates actually, and she'd been talking a long time about putting her business online, doing kind of events, but also having them online as well. And for her, this has been a bit of a wake-up call, and she's gone, whoa, hang on, let's move fast on this now. I've got to get my events online quickly. So suck events that come in, not only will they knock you off your feet momentarily, but then it's the ability to get back up and actually say, right, okay, let me be very inventive. Let me be very creative about this. And more than that, it's the ability then to recognize that when change happens within any business, it has like a domino effect within your business. So for instance, those business owners out there at the moment, maybe some of you listening to this now, who are going, right, okay, I need to make this change in my business. I need to add like an online business. There is a process involved in this, because it's a different marketing tool to the one that you've been using in your old or existing business. It's a new form of business. So now, you know, my graduates that are going through this right now, thankfully, they've been through our program where we show you how to line up those dominoes again so that you can get your business into flow fast. Okay, so what happens is when you have a change event, you disconnect, and it disconnects bits of your marketing. And it's the ability to actually start again and go through a complete process of going, okay, this is starting point. This is the next thing I do. Then I look at this, then I do that, and then I press the button, go. And then I get the new customers and the sales coming in. So it's a whole process of going through to actually bring everything into alignment. So I'm going to just have a look now to see if there are any questions. So Lisa says, do you have any advice on starting online courses? I have no idea where to start. Looking into a sewing course for people now stuck at home to diversify. Absolutely, Lisa. So this is what I'm saying about looking at opportunities right now. There's a lot of people at home. They're sitting there. They're kind of maybe these people they have been in employment, and now their jobs are saying, right, you have to work from home, or for whatever different reason, mum's stuck at home. So you're saying any advice on starting an online course? Okay, Lisa, you're a graduate of ours, so you'll know the process you need to go through, the step-by-step thing. And you've got lifetime access to our program. What I would suggest, Lisa, is very quickly go back to the beginning and step 1, step 2, and actually really get your marketing background, those foundations in place first. Because you see, the infrastructures of doing an online course are really, really quite simple. And there are lots of different providers out there at the moment that can provide you with online course infrastructures. Okay, so Udemy and Teachable and people like that. But there's more than that, and I think, Lisa, you recognize this, is that it's about the customers that are buying a course are very, very different to the customers that would have bought your products in your main business that you're running. Yeah, you're running right now. So this is about getting the foundations in place, because, as I said, the curveballs knock us off track. We all go, okay, we're going to be inventive here. Some of you are going, I need to start a new business. Some of you are like, I need to diversify a bit. Some people are actually going, right, I need to do something completely different right now. It's a great opportunity. Some of you are saying, I need to strengthen my business out and make it stronger, which is a good thing. It's a good thing, because your business is going to be stronger. You are going to be stronger. So the starting point for all of this always is getting clarity over your markets. The next stage is looking at your customer, your new customer group. So Lisa, to actually just, to talk you through this. So clarity first, looking at your new customers for your sewing course, your online sewing course. Who are they? Where are they? How would they buy? What do they want? What the hell's in the heavens? And the way that we do this, Lisa, okay? And then off the back of that then is looking at how you're going to communicate. Why would they want this course? Why would they want this course? Why wouldn't they go to somebody else? So go right the way through that process. You also know, Lisa, that it's all about the communication then, in the verbal and the visual communication, to entice these people to actually buy from you rather than somebody else. So nothing's changing, folks, in terms of the way business is actually done. I mean, these foundations are always there. But it's critical now more than ever that if you've been sent this curveball, you're considering setting up a new business, you're setting up another arm to your business, if you're going a completely different direction in business, it is so important that you look at these foundations, because you will have a disconnect and one market is not the same as the next. So Lisa, for your business, your customers are going to be completely different to the ones that would want a sewing course than the ones that would want beautiful couture outfits for dogs. Because Lisa creates these amazing doggy outfits. They're brilliant. Lisa's saying, yeah, absolutely. Sean says, we'll be diversifying a little. Yeah, this is the thing. You see, this doesn't need to mean complete change for people. This just means that sometimes it's a little pivot. And it could be looking at your business right now and going, how do we pivot? My business, myself and my team, we've sat down and we've acted really, really fast on this. We've gone, right, okay, so we have our big 12-week mega program, the one that Lisa has been on, Sean's been on, Lenka's in at the moment. They've got a lot of clients and graduates on this call tonight. So that's the mega program that we have, but we were very, very aware that there's going to be other people that need other kind of solutions. And so what we've done is we've moved very fast. So we've got a lot of other solutions now for business owners to meet them where they are in terms of development and tweaking and pivoting and whatever. So it's really, really important that you recognize that sometimes it's not massive change, sometimes it's just a pivot, but the same principles apply in terms of your business and what you're doing. So has anybody got any other questions at the moment in terms of where they are, what they're experiencing at the moment? Yeah, stick them in there. If you want to sort of comment, just click on the video right now and pop them in the comment box. Let me know about your business and whether it's a major change, whether you're pivoting, whether you're the ostrich sticking your head in the ground at the moment, hoping this is all going to blow over. Are you the one that is, you know, running around in a bit of a panic? I'm not. There's no judgment here. Please hear me. There is no judgment, because I've been the ostrich. I've been the one running around. I've also been the one that is kind of coolly like, whoa, okay, what an opportunity. What could be great about this? So please know I am not judging, but pop it in the feed if you've got any questions, if you need any help, whatever, and advice, pop that in the comments box. And hopefully, sometimes there's a bit of a lag and a delay on this, but hopefully they will be popped in there if you've got any questions. But yeah, so going back to suck events, they're unexpected events, they're sudden change, they are very uncomfortable, they're not nice, but you will survive this. You will get stronger. This is not the end of everything. Please believe me on this, is that it's not nice when you're going through it, but you are stronger than you absolutely realize right now. Okay, so any of you that are kind of running around and kind of like, please breathe, and please calm yourself. Take yourself, if you are that person, I'm speaking to you now directly, please take yourself away from the social media kind of frenzy about what's going on. Please take yourself away from the news. Please limit this. Please take my suggestion about having somebody close to you who will monitor what's going on for you and just giving you a little 5-minute update with no kind of drama, nothing like that, just really the facts, so you can really kind of and there's a lot of people out there at the moment that are actually putting themselves forward and saying, look, you know, for advice and whatever. The credit card companies are actually approaching people and saying, look, reach out to us. The banks are actually saying, reach out to us. The mortgage companies there are a lot of organizations right now that are going, okay, this is unprecedented. This is not a normal kind of situation. Please reach out. The one thing you shouldn't do right now is you shouldn't do the ostrich thing if you are struggling. All right, please reach out to these people. There are mortgage holidays and there's all different sorts of things that they can help and support you with. Kath said, if you're not sure what you have to offer if you're not sure what you have to offer other than what you currently do, what would you what would be your advice? Sorry, Kath, it's been a long day. If you're not sure what you have to offer other than what you currently do, what would you be advice? Okay, so yeah, this is an interesting one. This is where it's really helpful to have brainstorming sessions, to have I don't know whether that's politically correct, folks, so I'm not allowed to say brainstorming anymore, but hey, I've just said it twice, so why not? I'm just going to carry on saying it. Right, okay, so that's where a brainstorming session comes in, where you have other people you can bounce ideas off. Now, one of the things that the ASTD, the Association of Development and Training, I think they're called, I don't know, in America, the American Society of Training and Development, there we go. I'd get there in the end. What they found was that if you make a plan for something and you don't tell anybody, it's quite, I don't know, a 50% chance of failing or kind of like or succeeding. I don't know, it's like 50-50 chance. If you tell somebody, I believe your plans is 65% or more kind of like chance of it being success. If you have somebody walking with you and actually brainstorming and actually keeping you accountable and saying, right, have you done this? Have you done that? How about this idea? How about that? Got a 95% chance of it being a success. So what I would say, Kath, to answer that question, if you're not sure what you have to offer other than what you currently do, it's vital right now that you don't just stay there in isolation. Because here's the thing, is that the results that you've got to this point are due to your thinking and your routines and your behaviors to this point in time. Now, and the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. Now, if you haven't been able to come up with ideas of what you could do to this point, you sure as hell aren't going to come up with new ideas. You know, what do you think is going to change? Yeah. And I really don't want you to get to that point of complete desperation that I was in, that I just described to you in that story, where you're just about to lose everything. So it's really, really important right now to reach out and get support, to have like brainstorming in terms of like a battle plan, a business battle plan. And talking of business battle plans, what we've done is one of the ideas that we came up with to support businesses right now is to introduce battle plan strategy calls. And what we're doing is we're actually saying, right, okay, for I think it's 197 quid, and that's all. You have 45 minutes and you can have a battle plan created. Literally, it's a brainstorming session where you've got a business expert. They sit with you. It's like, right, virtually, of course. You talk with each other over like a Zoom call. You have 45 minutes of really cut to the chase. Let's create a battle plan for you. This is what you should do, and talking you through all your different options and choices. So that's what I would suggest, Kath, is that, don't remain isolated. It's about sort of having a way of somebody else looking at your plans and giving you suggestions, because you see, the thing is, it's very difficult to read the label on the outside of the jar when you're stuck in the blooming jar. And so you need somebody outside of you to actually kind of reflect and ask you questions and pull out those bits of sort of gold and diamonds that you don't really see in yourself. So that's how I would answer that question. Judith says, I know exactly what I have to do, but I honestly cannot find the time to get on with it. Okay, so again, sometimes we have loads of ideas, and this is about putting things in the right order in terms of what are the priorities. So again, it can be very overwhelming where you kind of go, right, okay, I need to move on this and move on that and all that. And it's very much about sort of bringing it back and breathing and kind of going, okay, so you only have 168 hours a week, but that's what we all have, right? And it's about how you utilize those 168 hours. So this is very much a case, Yuda, of now sort of like really grounding yourself and kind of like taking a breath, realizing that you're not superhuman and that none of us are superhuman, and there are certain things that you should do right now and some things that you could put in place for sort of a short, medium and long-term plan. Lisa says, just to clarify, it was more asking about practical advice on templates, etc. As I've got the course to do the persona side of it. I think you mentioned a couple of things a minute ago. Yeah, hopefully I kind of like replying to Lisa. Catherine says, yeah, Udemy is one of them, Lisa. Yeah, Carosa is another. And then, of course, there's Teachable is another course platform. They're the kind of the platforms where you put your course in and that will help. And of course, yeah, as you said, Lisa, you've got all the other stuff for the foundations of your new business and this new direction. So it's very much a case of the infrastructures, which sometimes people go, well, not sometimes, a lot of the time, probably 95% of the time, the biggest mistake that so many business owners make is they rush off and they'll go and get themselves a platform like Teachable, Udemy, anything like that. And I'm going to create a course, and they've got no foundations to their marketing whatsoever. And of course, that's when they don't make any money. And yeah, usually they end up speaking to me on the telephone so that we can help them out and help them make some money. Okay, so has anybody got any more questions? I tell you, let's pop them in the thing, and I'm just going to kind of wrap this up in a way. So, so what I want to say is stay strong at the moment. Make sure your mindset is robust in terms of get yourself off social media. In terms of, when I say get yourself off social media, be very mindful of where you are going on social media. At the moment, in our group, Bring the Balance Back to Business, Align for Success group, what we're doing is we're bringing in as many businesses as we can to support you all. And we've got like a positive mindset kind of fest going on every day. It's like, come on, we've got to bring the vibes up. And also at the same time, we are connecting business owners together who maybe have got skill shares, maybe they're in the same area, same industry, to actually support each other through this time. So it's very, very important to keep your mindset robust right now and be very mindful about where you're going and what you're looking at. Zoe says, what of the strategies we come up with that don't work for our customers? Okay. What if the strategies we come up with don't work for our customers? Well, this is the thing, Zoe, is there are no There are no definites in business. I hate to break it to you all, but nothing is certain in life. Nothing is certain in business. There is no magic wand out there. There are things that over the 25 years I've been absolutely certain would work, and they failed miserably. There are other things that I was like, no, that won't work, and then they've been the most incredible successes. There is no rhyme or reason to it. It's really, really weird. The only thing you can do is you can just get the foundations in place of basic marketing. The 101 of marketing is you've got to know your customers. You've got to know who they are, where they are, and more importantly, your customers drive what you offer, not you. This is one of the mistakes I made fairly early in some of my earlier businesses, is that I came up with ideas that I loved. And I was like, yeah, that's amazing. Everybody's going to love this. And, they were the businesses that failed because they were driven by me, not what my customers wanted. And so Business 101, Marketing 101 is about knowing your customers at such a deep level where the odds are stacked more in your favor, if that makes sense. And also what I would say is that in marketing, what we do is we don't put all of the chips on red. if we're talking like a gambling game and a game of kind of roulette, or I don't know, I don't really gamble, but I think this is how it works. Everything on red, yeah. That's crazy. You never ever do that at the beginning of any type of marketing campaign. What you do is you take a few of your chips and you go, let's just test this and see if it works. And then you spin the wheel, and if it comes up trumps, you go, well, hey, I'm going to put some more on that one. Okay, so this is all about risk and reward. It's all about gambling, but in terms of safe gambling. So it's like looking at if you come up with a new idea at the moment, just don't go all guns blazing into it. Make sure you do your due diligence first. Make sure that there is actually a market there for what you're doing. Otherwise, what you're going to do is you're going to put so much effort and time into creating a new business only to find that your customers don't actually want what you're selling and offering. And that is damn painful. Plus, you would have wasted some really, really valuable creative time right now. So the first thing to do is, before you actually create anything, is to go out to the market and test it. And how you do that is you start asking people in your target audience, not your mum, not your dad, not your sister or your brother or your best friend or whatever, unless of course they are your target audience. You go and find your target audience and you make sure that what you are going to offer actually is what they would want. And then you can do all sorts of research off the back of that, but you've got to move fast at the moment if that's the situation you find yourself in. Zoe says, I know you were going to say something else. Our list isn't exhausted though. That's the worry for me. I know you were going to say something. Yeah, I think the gist of what you're trying to say, Zoe, is that, look, the bottom line is that you have. Okay, so sometimes it's a case of what are you missing within your existing audience. So it's like you don't know your audience well enough. So there are tweaks, little pivots you can make within a product line that you have, a service offering. Sometimes it's about looking at the different machinery you have in your business and seeing what the demand is out there. So for instance, there's some incredible examples in the news at the moment. There's me saying, don't look at the news, but these are the positive stories, all right? Incredible positive stories of businesses that were selling a particular product, and because they're set up to actually produce, they've got the machinery and everything in product lines to produce another product. So there is a gin company, I believe, that have stopped production of gin right now because they have the same machinery to be able to create hand sanitizer. And so they've shifted production very, very quickly because obviously hand sanitizer is alcohol based. So they've already got the production facilities for alcohol. They've just bought in the other recipe bits. I don't know what I'm talking about here because I don't know how to make hand sanitizer, but they brought in the different bits and they've put them all together and they've got the machinery and the infrastructure already there. So sometimes it's not about, it's about looking at the different things within your business and actually, with that 30,000 foot view and saying, right, well, this is the product that we have been producing up till now. How can we tweak this right now? Or where is the opportunity right now? There are going to be plenty of people stuck at home over the next 12 weeks or more. All right. So from that point of view, it's about looking at your business right now and getting very, very creative. There's, I gave a wonderful example the other day about there's a yoga teacher who has taken her yoga business, and because she can't get people to her, she's using Zoom and God bless Zoom at the moment, even if their processing is slowing down, way down. But she's gone to Zoom, and she's actually doing remote classes for her students. I know that there's a salsa dancing group that are doing very similar there. So it's all about looking at the opportunities that are all around you. And even if your list is quite small, I that for me is like, that's not an excuse for innovating and coming up with very creative ideas right now. The worst thing you can do is kind of stay, you got to be quite light on your toes. That's what I want to say. Yeah, light on your toes right now, rather than kind of slowing it down and kind of doing things slowly. You cannot afford to be slow right now. Okay. Meditate on it. That's your slow bit. That's first thing in the morning. You meditate in the morning, you kind of release, you relax, whatever. That's when all the creative ideas are going to come forth, because literally they do come forth to this first bit of your brain, the frontal cortex. Then it's about moving fast and trusting your intuition and your instincts. But test your market first, as I said. How do you find your target audience? Okay, so Lenka, you're right at the very beginning of our course right now, our program. And so we're going to be showing you how to find your target audience and reach them and communicate with them and sell your products. So rest assured, Lenka, it's a process you have to go through. It's simple. It's not easy. You have to do a real deep dive, and from that you will understand where the different pockets of your audience are, how you can reach them. The fastest way to reach customers right now is online. It's always been online since the advent of the internet, and I think what's happening right now is a lot of traditional businesses, a lot of businesses that were offline, they hadn't really moved as fast as they could have done in terms of looking at the opportunities to reach their customers online. And it's those people right now that are having to move very, very fast to set up businesses online to reach their customers. So if you're, and hey, and it's not that easy. Zoe said, thank you. And hey, I'm not saying it's all sweetness and light and pixies and rainbows for the online businesses right now. Every business is being affected by this in some way. Even those businesses that at the moment are at full capacity trying to cope with demand of things, they are coming under pressure. And believe me, some of those businesses could go bankrupt because of cash flow issues. So it's not, because if you grow a business too fast, it's a boom situation. And, there's a big kind of cliff that some people could fall off. So this is very unusual times we're living in right now. It's very interesting. It's fascinating. As I said, mindset is where it's at right now. There's the one thing that I could actually, I'm a marketer, a businesswoman, but if there is one thing I could say right now is go to mindset. Go straight to mindset, because you cannot make those informed decisions without getting into the frontal cortex. And you cannot do that from a space of being panicked or that fear that you might feel in your gut and your belly right now. So please, there's loads of different meditation apps out there. I know it seems counterintuitive that I'm asking you to sit still in the morning when you wake up and kind of and do some meditations. There's guided meditations. There's an app called Calm you can check out. Let's give it Insight Timer is it Insight Timer? Hang on, let me just give you, Insight Timer. Is that Insight Timer? I'm just checking. I've got so many blooming apps on my phone. Insight Timer is one of the apps you can install. I've got that as meditations. Loads of meditations on YouTube, folks. You've got plenty of time on your hands at the moment. Go check out YouTube. Don't get distracted by kind of cats stuck up trees and whatever. That's the way you want. So Insight Timer, there's Calm, there's lots of meditation apps, but YouTube as well. Go calm yourself. At least the first, beginning of the day, end of the day, that's when your subconscious mind is like a sponge and it's most receptive. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, Judith says, that's the company I work for. We're so busy, but it feels great. And we're able to help the NHS with early detection. Grace Julian does suffer a bit of a delay, but I'm making my peace with it. Yeah, so Judith is very, very busy right now in her day job, because Judith is one of our clients and she's setting up her fantastic business as well. But yeah, she's saying, so these businesses, they're being very, very inventive. And that's what those entrepreneurs that are really surviving and thriving right now know. And that is, you've got to move fast. You've got to be nimble on your toes. They are taking good care of themselves in terms of personal kind of growth, in terms of personal development. And they also know that this is a time of opportunities for you all. there are going to be challenges. There is challenge in growth, but the payoff of it means that you will become stronger at the end of it. And I know there's that blooming saying about whatever doesn't kill you make you stronger. I used to hate that blooming saying. I really did. Yeah, I'm just thinking back to when I was told that. That's another story. But the bottom line is that actually it is absolutely true, and so this is a time now for self-protection in terms of mindset and well-being. Take good care of yourselves right now. Keep your stress levels as low as possible, because that's going to suppress your immune system if you're not careful. Take good care of yourself in mind and body, and look for then when you're calm and you can think more rationally, you'll be surprised at what ideas come out at you. And as I said, please do not go through this alone right now. There are plenty of people out there that can help. It might not be me and my team. It might be somebody else. But for goodness sake, do not suffer in silence. Do not do this alone. It's 100 times faster if you can get somebody to actually, walk with you through change and transformation. Anyway, so that's me for this evening. If you do want to book, we've got these 45-minute calls. Now, we've changed it up a little bit. As I said, the 45-minute calls that we used to have, were very, very powerful, but they tended to go on for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, whatever. These calls are a little different now. The 45-minute calls are very to the point. We're literally doing a deep dive very, very fast into business, looking at your current situation, looking at where you are right now and where you want to take it. Where are the opportunities for you, and what's the skill set you haven't got? And then of course we've got lots of different options to support you. If you're a DIYer, we've got a DIY solution for you. If you're someone who just wants that battle plan idea, that kind of inspiration, that these are my options, what do you think the best way of approaching this, we've got these battle plan calls, these strategy calls, 45 minutes available. And then, of course, we've got our major development program, which is the Alchemy programs, which is when you want to deep dive, you want to create a brand new business, perhaps a new brand, websites, marketing, the whole damn lot. It's an A to Z, fully charged program to get you massive growth in a very short amount of time. So from that point of view, if you are interested in any of those, we do need to speak to you, because we need to make sure that it's the right fit where we can absolutely help you 100%. And so from that point of view, if you do want to book a free strategy call, as in the 45 minutes to just assess where you are and what help we can give you, if we can't help you, we're going to recommend some other resources. We've also now put together a bank of free resources that everybody that we speak to will be offered as well. So if you want to book a call with us, go to heathergifford.com/apply. That is heathergifford.com/apply. And we'll also post the link in the feed here for you if you're interested. So we've opened up our calendars. We've cleared the decks, quite honestly, folks, because we know that there are 5.9 million SMEs in the UK right now that are going through this change and transformation. We do not want you to do this alone, okay? There is help available for you, and we're reaching out our hands to you. If you want to grab it, we're there for you, all right? Excellent. And Sian said, yeah, she started learning Reiki level 2. Well done you, Sian. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so that's it for this evening. Take care. One foot in front of the other. This too shall pass, all right? This is not the first thing that is going to knock you off track in business. If you're in business for long enough, there are going to be, unfortunately, several suck circumstances that are going to happen in life, in business. But it does make you stronger and more resilient and more resourceful. So go and get those resourceful muscles built. If you need help, reach out. heathergifford.com/apply. Book a free breakthrough call with us, a free clarity call. Absolutely help, support and hold space for you where you are right now. Anyway, you take care until we speak next. Take care all. Bye.